But yeah, we're gonna get started. Hyro, what's up, man? The GOAT. We gotta get Hyro to lead a class soon. Welcome in. But yeah, for those who are new or don't know me or you're new to the community like Erica, I just want to give a little intro. Obviously, my name is Max. I do videography full time for church and personally my business. Been doing this for a couple of years, so it's an honor just to be here with you guys and give these classes. And we're just me and Caleb are just here to help. But yeah, just welcome Erica. I think she's just joined. So just type in the chat some fire emojis for her. But let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about video editing, and how to make a video, how I made this, a couple of videos, um, some church videos. So you guys can see the process and how what I do, kind of my thought process, because a lot of the times, I don't know if people that are here try to finish their content the same night or the same day when you shoot it. Put type of one in the chat if you guys try to finish your content the same day you shoot it when you guys are shooting for church. So I know. One, got one, right. Frankie one. All right. Pretty much point 0.5, Tim. How sometimes does it, maybe does not, but most of the time, not even most of the time, but every time Caleb or myself shoot, we finish the content the same night because we know the importance of getting it out the same night or the next morning. So I want to just take you guys through how I made some recent videos, my process, how I finished them so quickly within an hour or so, a whole recap, how I'm able to do that, and kind of just run you down from beginning to end. I already have completed videos for you guys to look at, and we're gonna see why I'm gonna teach you guys, or I'm gonna go over why I did that, and we're just gonna kind of go over that process, what I think about, and at the end, what I want you guys to share, if you guys can, if you guys have any, share your videos. If you guys are not, maybe not shy for me to critique your videos here in front of everybody to see what I would do different, what's good about your videos, what I would improve, things like that. So you guys could improve it on that aspect as well. So why don't we get straight into this kind of lesson? And if you guys have any questions, just let me know, Caleb, if you could read the chat for me, because I'm going to be looking at Premiere. But who here, just before I get started, uses Premiere Pro? Hopefully everybody uses Premiere Pro. If you're a beast, then you're on DaVinci, my bad. Um, it just started. All right, just started. DaVinci, all right, my bad, Jose. You're better than me. But the process to start on DaVinci, all right. Beginner on Premiere, cool. So we have DaVinci Premiere. Really, what I'm going to teach you guys isn't DaVinci or Premiere. It's just the process. So that will apply iMovie. That will apply for both the DaVinci Premiere or iMovie if you add it on there, or Final Cut. But I'm gonna share my screen. I had the privilege of going to a conference a couple weeks ago back in Texas. It was a UPC conference. I got to shoot with a great team. I'm gonna share my screen here. I'm gonna show you guys two videos I did. I'm gonna show you a recap I did, and I'm gonna show you a reel I did for Premiere. All right. Let me know if you guys could see my screen here. Type one in the chat if you can. See. Cool. All right. Thank you, Caleb. All right. I'm going to take you guys through this first video I did. It's a reel, a preacher reel that is was a little bit trendy. I think I shared this in the Slack chat. And you guys, I don't know if you guys ever make these videos, the preacher reels that, or the preacher says like a good line, or he says something good during his preaching, and you cut it up. You have an angle of the preacher and you just put some text over it, and it's about a minute long. Who has done these preacher clips where you just get a clip of the preacher, you make a reel out of it, and these are pretty good. Does anybody? Nope, not that advanced. Okay. Has anybody made these before? These preacher kind of sermon clips. I guess they're called sermon clips. So you could call them. Jose, thumbs up. Okay, looks like Juan has made them cool. All right, so not too many of us have made these preacher sermon clips. And really what it is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a clip, 30 to 60-second sermon clip of what your pastor, what the preacher said that stood out that you think would do good. I'm gonna play this for you guys to watch this, and I'm gonna run you down the process of what I did and why I did it. But let's just watch it.
Usted mira la condición del mundo en este día y yo quiero retar a alguien en ese lugar. Generaciones que han entendido que lo que mantuvo este evangelio, lo que mantuvo esta doctrina, no fueron cosas humanas, no fueron ideas carnales, no fue una sociedad que rechaza el conocimiento de Dios. No, fue un río imparable del Espíritu Santo.
So, were you guys able to hear the audio for that? Good. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take you guys through my process on what I did here. It's pretty simple, but there's certain things that make this real pop in the sermon clip besides just having a regular standalone clip of just a preacher speaking or saying something during his preaching. And because I'm gonna show you guys how it would look like without B-roll, how it would look like without all the extra stuff I added. Like let's just say, right, it's not black and white. 1 second. I think. Let me show you guys how it looks here. So let's just bring it down right here. B-roll. So this would look like if there was no B-roll.
Usted mira la condición del mundo en este día y yo quiero retar a alguien en ese lugar. Generaciones que han entendido que lo que mantuvo este evangelio, lo que mantuvo esta doctrina, no fueron cosas humanas, no fueron ideas carnales, no fue una sociedad que rechaza el conocimiento de Dios. No, fue un río imparable del Espíritu Santo.
Obviously, colors are chopped in certain areas because I color graded for B-roll, but B-roll definitely adds when you're making a video. But how I made this video and why I made this video was because really when you're making church content, there's a bunch of different types of church content you can make. You can make the recap, you could make a promo video, you could make the sermon reels more trendy, type videos, testimonial videos, things like that. But an important piece of content you make for your church, especially if you're trying to get the word out there, the gospel, the word of God, is sermon clips, because that is someone, a man of God, or a pastor speaking the word of God, and that's a part of evangelism when you are spreading the word of God through social media, and these clips really help. So the goal for this video, why I made this one, was because I wanted to share what his name is Daniel Ramos, the word he had for tonight to leave an impact of those who were at the conference, and so people remember the word when they come back and see this video, and just leaves that more impact on them as they kind of leave the conference. They could look back on this, remember that word that was impactful, was powerful, things like. So that's kind of like the reasoning why these videos kind of exist and the purpose behind them. But let's break down what I did here. So we have the clip of Daniel Ramos. I'm not sure if he's a pastor or not. I think ASC is a pastor. So we have a clip of Daniel Ramos here. It's a sermon clip. And what I did, it seems like a lot of layers for those who don't edit on Premiere. This might look a little funky to you guys. But what I did here was my idea. The first thing I always like to start with is audio. Well, what track am I going to use? What emotion am I trying to convey? And just kind of type in the chat, who has heard this audio before? Who has heard this audio before?
Yeah, it's pretty trending right now.
Right. Right. So it's a trending audio. So you guys know, let me see, you guys have probably heard this audio. It's pretty trending, right? So my thought process was I want this reel to reach as many people. I want this reel to catch attention. I want this sermon clip not just to be a boring clip of just someone speaking where someone can scroll. And when it comes to this audio, I thought, okay, this is trending. People, there's a pattern to this. When people watch this trending, hear this trending audio, they stay to watch it because it's different clips. It's trending. It's doing good numbers. So that's why I picked this audio. And so I picked this audio number one. When you're making any video, the best and the fastest way you could make progress on a video is finding the song first, because that is going to almost be your guiding compass of how your video is going to be. For example, if this was more of like a higher energy song, I'd probably put more B-roll clips, more emphasis on things like that. So the first thought process was I want to find trendy audio to get to make this I guess get the video out there so people could watch it, so people it could get more attention, because obviously what good does a video do if you post it and it gets no views? So the first thing I did was, okay, I need to find a good song that would do good, which is this trendy audio, which is not really trending anymore, but a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, it probably was definitely more trendy. So once I picked my song, now what I did was I found when it comes to your sermon clips, you always want to find a sermon clip of what the main message was about. Because preachers will sometimes kind of go off topic about off the theme or whatever it was. But in order for you, your audience to remember, or to get your pastor, your preacher, whatever minister at your church message across, you always want to find a clip that emphasizes the main topic theme. So if he's talking about the rapture, you want a clip that talks about the rapture, right? So for example, this little clip was kind of his main message. So once I did that, I had a camera tripod with the 85 in the back of the church aimed towards him, recording the whole preaching. Obviously, it's important that you're always recording the whole preaching, because you want to make sure you capture everything just in case he has better clips than others, or the preacher, pastor, speaker has a good moment. So it's important to record the whole thing. So I recorded the whole thing and I picked this clip right here. So the first thing I did was got the audio. I found this clip that we saw right here. And when I first started this video, I was like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to, uh, let me duplicate this so I can mess around with this. So I could mess around with the clip. So the first thing I thought about was, okay, I'm just going to do the preacher, um, right here. Um, that's just going to be it. It's just going to be a clip, of the preacher like this. No B-roll. I'm just going to
Usted mira la condición del mundo en este día.
We're just going to do this. That's it. And then I was like, you know what? I watched the whole video. Someone have a hand raised. Jose, you have a question?
Yeah, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Typically when you record the sermon, do you kind of keep your ear at focus all times to kind of hear the sermon in itself, or do you listen to the whole thing afterwards?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Usually I'll kind of peek in to see, like, you kind of know sometimes preachers get excited, and that's when they're really getting to the message. So I kind of keep an eye out for that and listen to keywords. So when I do go look back on the recording, I know where it's at. But usually, since I've done this so much, I don't have to listen. I just go through the whole preaching and kind of get it from there. But if you're more of a beginner and you're just starting to do this, I would keep an ear out for that, like where he gets excited, where you find a good phrase, or a good 30 seconds of where he's going in. So he's preaching about his topic, things like that. So if you're a beginner, I would keep an ear out, just to see what the speaker's talking about. But yeah, I would kind of recommend that. Good question. Is there any more questions?
Yeah, I have another question. Typically what I do to kind of save that portion of the video is kind of put my hand over the lens to kind of get like a,
Yeah.
I guess like a black 5 seconds. Do you do the same thing, or is there something else you do?
Yeah, that's actually smart. I know they do that a lot in sports.
Oh,
Yeah, but I don't do that, but that actually is a good smart way to mark it.
mm,
Which is that's actually really smart. I've never thought about that. But I just kind of know because I've done it so much where I'm like,
oh,
okay,
okay.
I know where to go.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, you could do that. That's smart. If
Mm,
you hear a good part, just put your hand over the lens of the recording, and
mm,
then that's almost like a marker for you.
perfect.
And then Gadiel says, how do you find music or songs for reels? That's what takes the most time. For sure, that honestly, finding a song could take the longest time. I especially when it comes to my client videos, that's um, sometimes the most lengthy process. Well, I have this software or this, I guess, music platform called Epidemic Sound where you have to pay for it, but yet you have so many songs where you go through, or you just look on Instagram. There's different platforms like Instagram, Music Bed, which Music Bed is, in my opinion, the best for songs. Artlist too, yep. Different music platforms you have to pay for that provide copyright free music. Or Instagram, what I'll do is a screen recorded trendy song or something, like I did for this one right here, and then I'll just put it on there. I mean, usually when it comes for Instagram stuff, you want to kind of stick to trendy things like this audio. What's doing big right now? What's doing good numbers? So your video could also be doing that, right? Because your video could be the next viral Christian, sermon clip or whatever. So kind of looking on Instagram, Music Bed, Epidemic Sound, things like that. But I'm gonna continue on. But these are good questions. Just stop me if I'm kind of too into it. Just unmute yourself and ask a question. But so where I was for this video was I had the song, I had the audio, which I'll get from the soundboard, or if your church live streams, you could get it from the live stream. And also a little tip for you guys to know, which is important. When you're recording a sermon clip, it's important for you to have a good audio source. So your camera's picking up clean audio. So when you sync the live stream audio or the soundboard audio to your camera, it syncs up with no problem. So that's a little tip. Make sure you have like a shotgun mic or it sounds clean. Because usually you don't want just the raw the camera audio because it just doesn't sound that good. Just a little tip. So what I did was I found the trendy song and I was looking at my video and I was like, it's too boring with just like this, right? So my video didn't have any zoom in. So just imagine this. It was just the sermon clip. It didn't have any zoom in. Let's just take them out like this. Just like this one. It even have actually I think I actually did the cuts. So all I did was it was just a clip and then what's important obviously when it comes to your music, which I always listen to when you pick your audio, you always want to listen to the patterns, the how the audio is. So if you listen to this track, it has little like two hits like dun dun on it. You always want to edit to your music. That's what's gonna make your video pop out. So you'll see I don't do it for every beat because it'll be too repetitive, but I do it for every other beat. And what I did was originally I did it with the clip. I would zoom in. I would do like that, kind of do two zoom ins. And I was watching the video. I was like, just the clip alone is too boring. Like for me, it wasn't popping. I feel like people would scroll off this video. So what I did was to make it more interesting. I was like, what if I just add some B-roll shots for the service to make it more interesting? It switches from preacher to visuals to back to preacher. So the audience, whoever's watching, has something to be entertained by. They're more hooked to be watching this video. So what I did was the number one thing was pick my audio, see how I could edit this clip to the audio. My first process was, I'm gonna do two zoom ins when it came to the preacher, which is you guys saw right here, to make it interesting. But then I started messing with the B-roll. I was like, why don't I just do it with B-roll, right? So you see the audio at the beginning is chill. And It comes in right here. So for me, the B-roll is a lot more visually pleasing. The audience now expects a visual change on the beats, which keeps the audience hooked. So because now they're expecting something, they want to watch it more. So that's what I did. So I was like, you know what, this is too boring. I'm gonna add B-roll, and which worked out perfectly. And a key is a lot of people, what I see a lot of beginner videographers do is they don't edit to the music. So I'm pretty sure like a beginner videographer wouldn't know to hit it on the beats. You know what I'm saying? So important to important to really edit to your music. You know, and I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't doing it on every beat because I thought it'd be overkill. But I did it on every other beat just to kind of create that some timing in between. And another thing, when it comes to these sermon clips, it's always important you put captions, because obviously videos that have captions perform better because the audience now has something to read. They're now looking right here, and there's something that I did here. If you guys, I highlighted some keywords. The conference was something about generaciones. Kind of forgot already, but so I highlighted some keywords he mentioned to now make this a pattern interrupt. Okay, it was just regular white captions. Now there's a big yellow caption, right? So that's kind of like a little interrupt in your video, right? I only did it for 3 words. So there's multiple things that made this interesting. Obviously, there's my stylistic thing of the grain plus the black and white, which I just kind of wanted it for more style. There was the B-roll change when it came to the beats, and there was also what I took out right here was a scaling, which was just kind of moving in your frame here. And see, I zooming in to make it more interesting, make something pop. So my process was, how can I make this simple video pop? And let me show you one I just did without nothing. So let's watch this one.
Estoy aquí para decirle en esta noche que el avivamiento no es solamente para mí, no es solamente para ti. Hermanos, el avivamiento debe de ser de una generación a otra generación. Una generación generacional debe de ser un avivamiento sostenido. Tiene que ser un avivamiento sostenido.
Sorry if the quality is horrible. I have to edit in 1/8 because my computer will explode if I edit. So you see the difference between this and now you go here.
Usted mira la condición del mundo en este día y yo quiero retar a alguien en este lugar. Generación.
Like if I was watching this video, I would just click off, you know. Sorry, Jose, do you have your hand raised?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say how did you get audio for that reel there?
Right, these, right?
Yeah, like for the preacher. Do you have a mic on him or do you get it from the mixer?
Yeah, so for this one, they were live streaming. So what I did was I just screen recorded the live stream and took the audio from that screen record, right? Or, oh, you know what? Actually, no. I did both. I took it from the soundboard. I recorded off a USB. And then I also took from the live stream as well. So, but if you guys see, good question. Let me check if there's any questions. Swipe, right? Tim said swipe. Like, let's be honest. If you guys were watching this video compared,
Estoy aquí para decirle en esta noche que el avivamiento no es.
like super boring, and then you come here.
Usted mira la condición del mundo en este día y yo quiero.
So when you're editing these sermon clips, they could be boring like that, you know, and you have to figure out, how can I make this more creative? First of all, captions, number one, you keep the audience engaged. They're reading something. Two, you're editing to the music with the beats. So, you know, the audience is expecting some change or some clips. And then also one thing I added that was small was I added the sound effect, which helps the cut. go into the.
Usted mira la condición del mundo en este día y yo,
You guys will see how it helps transition.
usted mira la condición del mundo en este día y yo quiero retar.
So if you put it all together,
Usted mira la condición del mundo en este día y yo quiero.
so you kind of hear that it's a smoother transition. It kind of build it makes it helps it build a kind it kind of builds it up to what he's going to say. So this transition, this sound effect is called the riser. So it almost sounds like the audio is rising, like gets more intense, and then there's the climax. Right. So there's multiple things that are going on. I could have just left it like this one right here, which I thought was really boring, or I wanted to make it more interesting with the trendy audio, editing with the trendy audio using B-roll because B-roll, helps, visuals, all that good stuff. And then the change in captions with the yellow, you see this here. So there's multiple things that made this real. I like it a lot for a sermon clip pop out and not make it some boring clip. So it's a pretty simple edit. But there's just little things that just make that real pop out because I was watching it when I was editing this video. I was like, something's missing and B-roll, captions, and this little things like the little sound effect. And it's super important. Something you guys need to learn now is what will separate you from a beginner amateur videographer to a really good one is your sound effects. And this only had one sound effect because I didn't really think it had it really any fit for anywhere else. Yeah, I could have. But your sound effects, adding little things like that are going to separate you, the detail, things like that. So that's how my process was for this one and how I wanted to make it pop. Do you guys have any questions about this one? Um, any comments, questions on how I did certain things? How are you guys feeling about this one? Do you guys feel like you guys could do this? Maybe if you guys are doing sermon clips, for those who are doing sermon clips, um, do you guys just keep it like this, or do you guys add some some B-roll? Do you guys add little things like that? Why is it black and white? That's a B-rolls are good, yeah, Jose, that's good. Anybody else or add some things like that? I really like the black and white because I don't know, it just kind of gives a dramatic effect for what I wanted to do, right? Especially with the audio. I'm in the grain. This is without the grain. Well, this is just the like this is just like without the black and white. I don't know. There's like really no dramatic effect.
Ese día y yo quiero retar
That looks whack, compared to
a
this.
alguien en ese lugar. Generación.
Like if we remove this. I don't know. It just doesn't give that dramatic effect that I want. So there's multiple things that play into a good video, right? There's obviously your color, your captions, there's your sound effects, your music. It's really important to stay aware of all that. Let me see if you have good questions. The color change, the captions stand out, right? Does the software give you automatic captions? Good question. Yes, it does. So Premiere, I know DaVinci does too. It gives you automatic captions. So if you have a audio source here, right here, just say let's duplicate this. On Premiere, you can actually go to your text here, and then you have your transcript. And on your transcript, you have the option to make caption this area here. And since I already made the captions, it won't give you the option again. Oh, right here, create captions, and then you can make captions out of your transcript or so yeah, it's automatic. Sometimes you do have to double check just to make sure everything's proper. But yeah, this is what I did for a sermon clip. And I'd highly recommend if you guys are not making any for a church to start making these sermon clips. Because like I said, the purpose of it is to get the message out, to make whatever your pastor's talking about, the truth, all that good stuff. I don't know if you guys ever seen those edits or if you guys know who Philip Anthony Mitchell is. Bro, like some of his edits go really hard, and they have like some of them have millions of views because they're trendy, they're trendy music, but it has a good word behind it. and the trendy visuals, the trendy audio helps just push that clip out. All right, so there's different things that make a good sermon clip. So just to kind of review before I move on to the next video, the first thing you want to do when you're starting a video is finding your song. And I'm not gonna lie, 100% of the time you're not going to start like that. Sometimes it'll just be, I'm gonna find the clip first, edit the clip, and then I'll find the song. But if you want to edit a video as fast as you can, especially that same night, you want to have a song picked out before you even start the video. Like, okay, I want this vision for this video. This song is going to help me for that vision. Whether you want to do some, like, for example, when I go into making videos, I always decide, is this video going to be a fast-paced video, slow-mo? Is it going to be both? Is it going to be something trendy? Is it going to be something different? What do I want to do before I even start with this video? And I find a song that matches that vision. And I'm able to finish a video with shooting and editing within an hour because I get that song ready. So when I have the clips ready, okay, I know where to put this beat, I know where this is going, all that stuff. So finding a song, especially if it's trendy, even better. That's the first thing you should do. And when it comes to sermon clips, only talking about sermon clips, is find a clip that matches the pastor, the speaker's theme, right? Because you don't want to be off topic. We all heard of those preachers that go for hours and hours and they talk about 5 different things and they finally get back to their topic. You kind of want to stay away from that. Not saying it won't work, but you just want to try to stay on topic most of the time when it comes to preaching clips. When it comes to also preaching clips, always add captions because captions is going to help your engagement because your audience is reading the captions. And also add that kind of pattern interrupt with the color, make it yellow, make it bigger, with keywords, right? So this is what I did. Keywords popped, adding that. And then also change it up visually. You're not always going to add B-roll, but only if most of the time it will fit. Make sure you're using your B-roll, using what you shot to your advantage to make your video pop out more, right? And then also if you can use sound effects, right? Make it pop, be different, whatever you can, risers. I know I have some sound effects linked in the spreadsheet, so you guys could use those. So a lot of whooshes for transitions, risers, just kind of things like that. So like I said, I could have made some basic, just this, which is really boring, or you could change it up and add all this stuff, which I think I really like this sermon reel. Maybe you guys didn't. If you guys didn't, just don't let me know. Maybe I'll cry. But that's pretty much my process on what I did for this sermon clip reel. And then another thing too is also if you have a stagnant clip where it's not moving at all and it's just a still clip of just a tripod shot, sometimes that could get boring. You could add some practical stuff like a zoom in, like I did. And I don't know if you guys know how to do that on Premiere, but it's just by adding two keyframes here. It's just a zoom in right there, just simple as that. He's zooming in here, makes the video more interesting, not as static. So things like that you could add. They're simple, but will just improve your video just by a tiny bit, right? And 1% better every time, and then you have a really really good video. Right? So that's pretty much what I have for this one. Do you guys have any questions before I move on to the recap? How you guys feeling about this one? Do you guys feel like you guys can make something like this? Type of one in the chat if you guys think you can make something like this, or two if you feel like you can't. Jose, I'm ready to cook up. Caleb, no, Caleb, you can, not you. Frankie, all right. Anybody else? 2. Uh-oh. Erica, don't worry, we're gonna get you there. Tim, nope. 1. Let your yes be a yes, your no be a no, Tim. All right, Erica, no worries. Come on. Yeah, Erica, that's why we're learning right here. All right, so start simple. Right? Obviously, if it's your first time doing this stuff, obviously you don't want to jump into something this is complex for now. You could just stick to this and learn the basics. just learn the basics. Basics would be just your captions and the sermon clip, and maybe even a zoom in, which is you turn your keyframe here, make another keyframe right here, and then you can start with something just as simple as this.
Estoy aquí para decirle en esta noche que el
Right, it's a little zoom in. If you guys see, it's kind of, and then the cool thing about keyframes is you can make the zoom in faster or slower. So you can make it like really fast like this, kind of a zoom in. So there's there's the basics. I recommend if you're just starting, start with something simple like this, just a sermon clip, um, captions, maybe do highlight some words here to make it pop. Maybe he says something that's key. You do that, and now you have a word. So there's different things where you can make sermon clips pop out. All right. So, but that's pretty much it. My kind of process for this and how I do it. Let's see. Jose says a cool thing to know is Captions app is helpful for mobile caption for. Yep. Captions is also really good. I've used it. I think they have like a AI thing now where they could edit your videos, but obviously I don't approve of that. You have to do it yourself, right? Um, but yeah, AI captions could be a good tool as well if you want to do something real quick. Get a hang, start off with that, and then move up to Premiere or DaVinci, things like that. But all right, let's move on to the next video, which is a recap as well. This video I was able to finish within an hour shooting, maybe an hour and a half. And this is more of like a simple recap, but you guys will see. I'll just play it for you guys, and um, you guys could see what I did. Put it full screen.
Y escuche bien, no te metas con mi familia, diablo mentiroso, porque voy a pelear hasta que me quede la última gota de sangre en mi vida. Las aves de rapiña, de depresión, están tratando de detener a nuestros jóvenes. Yo voy a pelear, yo voy a... ¿Habrá alguna madre que todavía esté orando por sus hijos pródigos? Pues comience a creerle a Dios, y comience a hablarle a Dios, y comience a pelear.
So, pretty like simple recap. Wasn't like anything crazy. But just to kind of recap of what the preacher, what the service was about. Recaps are really good videos just to share on social media so people can live the experience again of that conference, that service. So I'm gonna break down what I did here again. So the process is almost the same. You always want to find the song. You always want to find a song before you start the video. And for this video, I was kind of like in a creative slump. I was like, man, what should I do? I feel like there's a lot of the same stuff out there. And sometimes you'll be like that. And sometimes you got to just try random things. Like sometimes I'll try random things on videos to see what hits, what sticks, what's not good, what just doesn't, right? And I wanted to start this video very dramatic. Like I wanted to yeah, just to have a dramatic beginning. And what else? There's a light beaming what's heaven. I don't know, God, an angel. I don't know, kind of over dramatic, but something very dramatic. It's a light. All I did for this shot was I pointed my camera at the light, like one of the lights in the church, took it out of focus, and that was it. To kind of give like almost like a sunlight flare, kind of dramatic effect. And also, I wanted to start very dramatic. So I found my song. I found a dramatic song. So any questions? Genius. Um, so I want to start something dramatic. So it's always important before you start a video, how do you want the vibe? What emotions do you want to convey with your video? Do you want it to be happy, exciting, joyful, people jumping? Do you want it more dramatic like I did for this one? Do you want it to be more in the middle? Do you want it to be a change up? Because you could do happy, joyful beginning and then very slow, dramatic end, right? So what I did was I found my song and I found a clip that could convey what I wanted to do, something dramatic. Right. So there's two things I want to point out here. So I started the video dramatically with this clip. I faded in with black just to kind of let the light fade in, create more of a dramatic effect. There's something that also that I added, if you guys notice. I added raw audio of the preacher, people, saying amen, moment, right? So I added that in the video. So to establish that, okay, this is a church video. This is kind of, you already get the vibe, preacher, and that establishes a feeling already, preaching, power, preachers going in, the audience, the people that are there, the congregation is, excited to hear the word of God. So it already creates some sort of emotion. So I added this just real quick. So there's multiple things that are making this video work and conveying emotion already in the first 2 seconds. So we have the song, and also another thing is sound effects. Sound effects are key, even if it's a one or two for the beginning, just a little bit, just to add a little bit more to your video, just to elevate it just a little bit more, right? It helps it come alive. So this is the first 4 seconds. There's a lot going on. There is obviously the fade in. There is the people, the preacher background. There is the sound effects, which is a riser, right? And all I did with these clips, we see flashing, more dramatic. You were seeing videos where they're or movies where they're flashing. Someone's maybe waking up. Something's happening. You could tell it's just going to be dramatic, you know, right? And then there's also another sound effect, which is a hit right here, right? Just to kind of give it more of dramatic effect of establishing that scene right here, right? And then so I wanted to start a dramatic intro. I wanted to start something dramatic. That's the feeling I wanted to get. So establishing what you want to do at the beginning obviously helps you edit faster and helps you just flow and edit a lot easier. So a lot of people like to figure it out just right when they start. You could do that. You should do that all the time, but it just takes so long. And if you want to make a great video, having those ideas beforehand is super key. So I started this dramatic effect, and also another thing I want to point out is I added an effect on the audio. So let's listen to audio. It almost sounds a little bit like muffled. It doesn't sound as clean. So what I did, I kind of wanted that um, muffled effect. Like, you guys ever see those movies where those action army videos where someone gets hit by a grenade and hear a loud like eerie noise and it sounds like very muffled. People are talking to them. Kind of wanted to start that and build into the clean audio just to add more again of a dramatic effect. So all this stuff is just to add to the dramatic effect, to add to the emotion of the video, all that stuff. So I added what I did here. I added a band pass, which kind of, I guess, almost, I don't know exactly know like the correct term, but almost kind of compresses it, makes it sound like that. Something simple, just added that because if I take it off, so actually it was on this clip there, so it just changes it up a tiny bit. Like when you take it off, it sounds more clear, more a little bit more crisp without it. So this is the beginning of the video, right? So I added sound effects. I knew what I wanted to do, and let's hear the song. Sorry if it's laggy. It's probably laggy on your guys' end too. But so if we listen to the audio, you guys hear the. So the song has like some like little beats. I don't know how to explain it. Like you guys can hear it. You guys see how the clips are matching that little like going with the song easier. So super important. That's why to edit with your music, because visuals and music when they align just make a better video. Let me see if there's any. Yeah, Tron type. There you go. That's the way to explain it, right? Did you record that first clip handheld super smooth? Yes. So good question, Jose. This first clip was recorded handheld with a warp stabilizer. So I stabilized it with the warp. which is an effect that DaVinci Premiere has to stabilize your footage. So if you have shaky footage, it helps stabilize that. So this is just the first 5 seconds, right? It's super, super dramatic. My emotion is being conveyed.
Y escuche bien, no te metas con mi familia, diablo mentiroso, porque voy a pelear hasta que me quede la última gota de sangre en mi vida. Las aves de rapiña, de depresión, están tratando de...
So, again, having a strong intro, I want to just teach you guys this. Having a strong hook to any video is key. It doesn't matter if it's a trendy video or a cinematic video. Hooking someone at the beginning of the video is super key because you have about 3 seconds to hook someone to video. If you don't hook them, they're gone, right? So having a strong intro to your video, cinematic video, I kind of go the hardest on the intro because I want to get some of the tension, right? And the video could kind of die down just a tiny bit because now you have their attention, right? So having a strong intro is super important, what I did. And next part of this video, what I added that sound effect because I obviously wanted to add, this clip is almost dramatic. People are standing up to the preaching. There's powerful, it's a power clip. Like they're standing up, you see right there. You see that woman stand up here. So I see a lot of church videographers just put random clips, It's super important to be intentional with the clips. I'm not saying that you have to do it 100% of the time, but it's super important. So I did this kind of out of power.
Y escuche bien, no te metas con mi familia, diablo mentiroso, porque voy a pelear hasta que me quede la última gota de sangre en mi vida. Las aves de rapiña, de...
And what I wanted to do here as well, obviously, these are just kind of clips recapping the service, things like that. And what I did too as well was I wanted to make this video, I wanted to get the preacher synced in with the audio because sometimes people will just record preaching, just the audio and just get like a random clip of a preacher, which you could do and just add it to the recap. But it's something more visually pleasing when you switch the preacher and the audio matches what he's saying right here. So it's right. So I recorded like a whole minute or two of where I thought the preacher was going to say something powerful, aligned with this preaching. So what I did was I just kind of stood where the preacher was and I recorded him. Kind of followed him. And why this is something good you could do is you could cut in between those clips. B-roll clips of people worshiping, now preacher. B-roll clips, now preacher. Again, to change up those visuals. And there's something, what I say, be intentional with your clips. This is what I did listen to what the preacher says about moms. He says, is there any moms fighting for their children? And when he says this, I put B-roll of moms. I put B-roll of the women, right? And you see right here.
Una madre que todavía esté orando por sus hijos pródigos, pues comience a creerle a Dios y comience.
So you see, he talks about mothers, and I put, women who are mothers.
Madre que todavía esté orando por sus hijos pródigos.
There's a hand praying, a woman praying for someone to emphasize what the preacher is saying. So that's why it's important to be intentional with where you put your clips, because now when they see this, they see, is their mother praying for those, and the visuals match up. It just makes the video a lot more powerful. So be intentional. Just don't throw clips, because I see a lot of people just throw random clips together. Put the clips together of what the preaching is about, what the music, is conveying, what emotions. So this is a pretty simple recap where I started with a dramatic effect, a strong intro. I did something, played with the clip and sound effect. So there's so much you could work with when it comes to video. A lot you can be creative with sound effects, music, and the rest of the video when it comes after the intro is just kind of clips going with the music.
Escuche bien, no te metas con mi familia, diablo mentiroso, porque voy a pelear hasta que me quede la última gota de sangre en mi vida. Las aves de rapiña, de depresión, están tratando de detener a nuestros jóvenes. Yo voy a pelear.
And just things like that make the video pop and like sound effects. I only added a couple for this one, and like making sure you have sound effects because not only do you have obviously your visual transitions, but you also have your your sound effects transition. So I wanted to move this clip here. So kind of messed that up a little bit, but so these sound effects will help you transition visually with the music. So having the sound effects kind of, let me lower this a little bit. So having the sound effects kind of help you transition into that stuff. Um, will help your videos just kind of be better. Right. So if you want to be better, be a good videographer, use sound effects. Even if it's just a couple, things like that, just add a lot more to your video. Because who here use sound effects? Put a one in the chat if you use sound effects right now for every video. One, Caleb one, Jose one. Are you masking or reducing transparency or another method? Good question. Are you talking about these clips right here, Frankie? Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so what I do for these clips is I just I lower the opacity. Super simple. It's 100%, had it 44. And I like this effect and it's a good transition because it's almost kind of like you're looking at double, right? It's overlay, which is pretty cool. Um and it's super simple. What I did was all I did was I got like a bunch of clips together. I just say, let's look at this one, copied and pasted it. And then Premiere has this thing called nesting. Um, so actually what I first do is I'll select all these clips. I change the speed, like let's just say zero point 0.5, zero point 0.5 there. What I do here is I actually did it wrong. So I'll change all that so they the same speed. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of nest it together so it's easier. And nesting is you're just kind of creating like another sequence. You're grouping clips together with your clips, and then I'll just lower the opacity of all of them together. So that'll make like a kind of thing. And that's obviously a little slower, but stuff like that. So yeah, I did kind of do the opacity. And I think there's another question. Um, how long did it take you to color grade each clip? Really what I do for these videos, since I have to finish them quickly, I'll just throw a general LUT that fits for everything. So for example, this LUT I used, what LUT did I use? Man, I didn't use a LUT. Um, oh, there you go. So I use this LUT called the Filmy 56. So what I do is I'll put a LUT over here and I'll kind of correct each clip individually. Like for example, if it needs like a quick shadow increase or exposure, it doesn't take me long at all. It's pretty quick. I just find a LUT that generally fits everything. And then I'll make those tiny adjustments, like just exposure wise, or maybe color temperature. So it's pretty quick, maybe like 10 minutes I'll take. Let me see. Free LUTs, yes. We have some free LUTs in the in the channels. You guys could use that. We use all the time. Well, would you have a LUT pack you would recommend? I definitely recommend the ones we have in the not the Discord, the Google spreadsheets, the minimal landing ones. Those are really good. Get you by pretty much for any project. So I'd recommend using those. The way you use them is you're just going to have to obviously bring your image back to Rec 709 and then put the LUT on top of it. But continuing on, there's not like too many components, but there's little things that make a video pop, right? So there's obviously being intentional with your clips, like I was here with, the moms, and obviously this clip can kind of create that power emotion, switching between the preachers. Um, and yeah, that's kind of my process of how I make a video, how I make it in an hour is having that song ready and having that vision. Because if you have no vision, then you're not going to get a video done quickly. Or if you don't have a vision, you're not going to have a great video. You can have a good video, but not a great one, right? So be intentional, find your song, right? and know what emotion you want to convey. And I think, does anybody have any questions as far as this? Yeah, thank you, Caleb. Caleb linked them right here, our assets. But that's kind of the process of how I make a video, right? So finding that song, use sound effects, um, and 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 like I said, I used another riser here because I wanted the transition to be a strong, like dramatic build up to the video. So you guys could hear like this is another riser. I think I use the same riser for this reel right here, right? I think it's the same one. So that's kind of the process of how I make videos. I know we've kind of been going for a while now. So I kind of want to get to the questions here, or if you guys have any videos, if you guys want to send them to me on Slack real quick, so I could review them and show them if anybody is brave enough so to critique them. But I want to, Patrick, I love Patrick from SpongeBob, but if anybody wants to share the videos to me on Slack, wants to send it to me or Caleb, then we could, review them. I could give some honest feedback. I don't know if Caleb wants to jump in here, also give some feedback if he's available. But you guys could go on Slack, send them to me in the personal DMs right now, and then I could just review them and see how you guys' videos are doing. I share them with the class. All I have is a Disney video. Yeah, sure, I'll review that too. And see what we can improve on. But if nobody's brave enough, it's totally okay. I know it's kind of a little nerve-wracking to share videos and be critiqued in front of everybody.
I do have a question.
Yeah, bro, of course.
So how do you guys get your like audio files? Because
Audio.
I know you said screen recording.
Mm.
How did you like transfer that or like change it into a audio file?
Yeah, are you talking about the for the preacher or for like screen recording?
Or like the music and the sound effects?
Yeah, good. So good question. So what I'll do is let's go here, assets. Let's find that song audio. So for example, how I do it, super simple. Just say you screen record, I screen recorded this, right? And it's a video. I just need to get the audio. So Premiere has a feature where it has these two icons where it's drag video only or drag audio only, which is pretty cool. You could separate these files and just drag the audio only, right, for this preacher. And when it comes to sound effects, there is a lot of assets online where it just gives you assets of just audio files. So like this is just an audio file of like let's go here. Like this is just a audio file. All I have to do is drag it in and then that's it. Is that what you mean for your question? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that answers it. So
Yeah.
the software you're using, the Premiere Pros, makes it pretty easy, I
Yeah,
guess.
and DaVinci does it as well. You could separate these two like that. Or, if you want to make it complicated and if for some reason it does not working, you could just unlink and then just delete the clip and then now you have the audio. And then obviously these are audio files meant for just audio, which you could download like sound effects online, free sound effect packs, the ones we have in our community you could use. But I think we have a video for review that I'm gonna cook Juan right now. I'm about to cook him right now. So hard, I'm gonna show no mercy. But okay, thank you, Juan. He's a brave soul. All right, this is your video, right, Juan? You're not setting me up, sharing someone else's video. I use website to convert YouTube. Yep, you could do that as well. There's websites as well. Erica, it's good to have you. I think she left already. But all right. Let's look at this video from the beginning. And then I'm going to give.
¿Sabe por qué? Porque viviste un espíritu de menosprecio. Alguien te menospreció, te dijo que no valías. Alguien te trató con indiferencia en tu vida, no tuviste la atención de tus padres. Y entonces tú dentro de ti crees que no eres suficientemente valioso. Entonces ese espíritu de menosprecio te sigue. Y el enemigo te dice, Dios te va a usar a ti. porque Dios quiere desatar un ejército de mujeres que vayan allá afuera y que hagan cosas sobrenaturales.
All righty. That was the one you made, Juan. Let me go back to my go back to Premiere. All right, let's stop sharing my screen. Let me see. Yes, sir. All right. So send my video. Okay, cool. I committed cinema. I came out in the shot. All right, so let's review this video. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Let's review this video. So let's pull it up. And just I kind of want you guys I want you guys to comment on it a little first. Do you guys have, first of all, I want to compliment you on some things. I love the angles you have on this video, right? There's two angles. It's changing it up. It's giving me a different feel. Captions, I like the font. I like how they're coming out. All that stuff. That stuff is good. But I do have some comments for you on what we can improve. And just based on, obviously, everybody, let's give some construction criticism. Let's be respectful. I just want to hear you guys first. What do you think Juan could improve in right here? Because I have a couple of comments, but I just want to hear you guys on. Let me go back to Zoom here. What do you think Juan, after watching that video, could improve? Car videos. Okay. Jose says B-roll, right? Yep. Anything else? Yeah, you can send some car videos. Audio. Yep, Caleb. It's good. Audio could be better for sure. Okay. Anything else? Okay. So if you guys don't have any more comments, here's what I want to point out. So obviously, when it comes to these preacher reels, you could get away with posting on Instagram horizontally, right? The first comment I would make, especially when it comes to these videos, is change your aspect ratio to the full size, 9:16, because these videos are not going to perform as well if they're this ratio. All right, so that's the first thing I'd change the ratio. I know I hate vertical, but that's just how it kind of works nowadays. But I would first comment critique is change your aspect ratio to the intended aspect ratio for Instagram. And another thing I noticed was my face had audio. Having clean audio, in my opinion, is probably more important than the best visuals. If your audio is not as good, it's just not going to be as pleasing to watch or hear. For example, I noticed there was a big audio change towards the end of this video where it started I don't know if the camera switched audios from different cameras, but there was a big audio change. And I don't know if you could have gotten audio from the soundboard, from the microphone, but having that clean audio would have made a big difference in making this video just be a little better. One thing I did not like that you did was the captions, but there's one thing I would change about it. So when you're putting captions, you never want the captions to hit the subject's face. So this is kind of like a no-go. What you should have done is put the captions below where it didn't interrupt. You see how it's hitting their faces really? That's kind of not as pleasing to the eye. And it's hitting her face a lot, and it's almost kind of becoming the focus of the whole video, which is kind of distracting. And then what I would have done as well is for your camera switches, I would have tried to stay, like, if you're not as stable when it comes. Oh, sorry guys, I'm not sharing my screen.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that.
I was cooking Juan and you couldn't see. Okay, here we go. So, I mean, you guys will kind of see what I'm talking about here, but so as you can see, Juan has his captions there's times where you'll see, like right here where your captions are nice. They're kind of too much in the way. Right? And in my opinion, like you'll see it'll switch here in a bit where it's hitting her face, which doesn't really look good. So for sure where your captions are at should always be below the subject's chin or even below. And these captions could work right here. You see right here, that's just, I feel like that's too distracting. And like I said, since you guys weren't sharing I wasn't sharing my screen, I would move it vertical and audio too as well. If we listen to it. the music a little bit is they're not mixed well. So audio sounds like it's kind of blending too much with the music. So I would have probably lowered the music a little bit so the audio sounds a little better. And for example, you switch to an angle where you're not as stable. I wouldn't have switched to it. I would have tried to stay as focused as possible, or still as possible, because it kind of just, for me, it just doesn't show, like shaky footage just doesn't always look good. But there's a couple things that you could improve on here. Obviously, captions. I'll try to keep it one line if possible, if it's getting in the way of the speaker, and then just the
El
audio.
poder del Espíritu Santo.
And I know a lot of us don't have access to soundboards, right? So the best thing you could do to get cleaner audio is put on a shotgun mic, right? Yes. So I use in cam, right? I was about to say that, right? So I'll try to fix audio with the shotgun mic to get it as clear as possible. Or if you have mics, mic her up and and just record off your camera through the mics. That's what I've done before. If there's no audio, so there's a couple, but pretty good. I like the camera switches. There's just those little tweaks they could do, and I would take out the logo at the end. No logos on Instagram videos at the end at all. They don't perform as well. And then so I'm gonna review a couple more, and then we'll end here. Let me see who sent also videos. Let me see. Send video. Was it personal DM on IG? See who said they put videos sent on Zoom on private DM. Oh, got it. Copy that. Let me review. I'll get to yours, Tim. Mm, I don't see that video. Oh, there you go, Jose. Okay, sent short two videos. So let's look at Jose's video. I'm share my screen right here in a second. Here, sharing screen. Okay, let's take a look at it. Alrighty. So anybody want to give some comments before I give some comments? So I'll tell you what I like about this video. So the beginning of the video is strong. So if we look at the beginning of the video, you see the two, I like the speed ramp you did, slow motion. That kind of gives the energy of it. So good job on that. I think the shots are very clean. So if we see shots are very clean, right? You know, it's good shots, creative, kind of all clean. Very look a little bit exposure could be a little bit better. But yeah, like this speed ramp was cool. So that those are some compliments, you got a good strong start. But anybody want to give some comments, any compliments, and then maybe some critiques you want to share? Let me where's it at right here? Go here. Show this right here. If anybody want to share anything? Obviously, if you ain't, don't cook them. But so what I'll notice about your video, which is it has a good strong start. Let me go back to it here. Where is it here? So good strong start, which I like when it comes to this video. And but the one thing I notice is that the energy kind of dies down. So and it looks like so you see like the audio is like a beat. So the song you have is very strong, right? It's very cinematic, it's very strong. Like this clips energy, and then that's the energy, and then it kind of just dies down a little bit which kind of ruins the pacing of the video. It comes to still clips, still clip, still clip, right? Still energy kind of just dies down. And it looks like there is a bit of a different angle switch. But I would try to mess around more different angles. I don't know if you're just using one lens or two, but there's definitely energy dies down a bit when it comes to this video. Energy was there, right? And then it just dies down, which kind of for me as a viewer, I would click off because the energy was there. If you're gonna have still clips, I would change it. I would make them a little more interesting with the digital zoom, like I was showing you, some keyframes, kind of zoom in. I mean, then it kind of just dies down, which in my opinion, I just don't think it flows good with the video. But like this is great stuff. Zoom, speed ramp, right? And what I would do I would try to add some sound effects. Some whooshes here. And it seems like your church has a lot of white, bright lights. I just kind of watch your exposure here with these windows, the whites. See how this stuff, it seems a little bright white. Almost seems a little bit corporate, which is not too bad. But I'll just kind of watch out for that energy low, and maybe you don't always have to add videos or audio of preachings, but that could have made it pop a little bit. But not bad video, not bad. I think you're there. Just kind of needs the energy. Go with the music a little more, and then that's pretty much it. It's a pretty good video, man. Pretty good video. I like it. Let's see any comments, and then and then and then I'm gonna focus on Tim. I sent me two, but let's look at Tim. Tim's a beast. Um, Beast car photographer. He's honestly the best I know. Let's see. He's not a videographer as much, but let's check him out. Let's cook him. It's a Sicko Church. I'm just kidding.
We go up, we don't stop, yeah. Hit the top, never drop, yeah. On my team, we gon' shine, yeah. Shine, yeah. Worldwide wave, feel the vibe, yeah. Started low, now the view's insane. Every move calculated, play the game. Lost some friends, but I learned the pain. Keep it real, never fake, that's my claim. Money talk, but respect speak louder. Life's a test, I'm the last survivor. Chasing dreams while the world's asleep. From the shadows straight to the peak, we go up.
All right, cool video, man. Just to start off, shots are clean, smooth, which is really good when it comes to car videos. It looks like you have like a gimbal, or I don't know what you're shooting on, maybe just handheld, which is really smooth, but good shots. I think the angles show that complement the car. You're real good right there. So pretty good shots. They're clean, details, shots are there. The video's there. Only thing I would say, depending on where your audience is, I just think it's a little boring. What would make it interesting, you don't do it on every time, but there's times where you can switch clips on beats. So right here, switch right there. Like, you can focus on the beats a little more. You get it sometimes. But it depends what your purpose is, but it just seems a little slow paced. Which I guess now I think it's just my TikTok brain. But I would try to edit more, because there's certain beats to the song where you could switch clips, maybe make it more engaging. But for the most part, shots are very clean. Very clean. Did you use a gimbal for this, Tim? Let's see where we at. Let me see. Oh, okay, nice. Handheld warp saver. Yeah. So very clean shots when it came to this stuff. But also what I would do is try to be a little more creative with your color if you can. I know you're kind of new to video. Try to make the the car pop a little more with its color, maybe on color grading or kind of just looks like Rec 709. Messing with maybe some a lot or two, or maybe something more dramatic when it comes to
Talk, but
colors.
respect speak.
And this shot kind of seems out of focus, unless this was your focus right here. But right now, my attention, my eyes are pointing me here, which looks out of focus. But I know this isn't focus. So if you're gonna put this shot in, I would have probably moved this clip down to make this the center, which is the focus. Um,
Louder.
but
I
clean,
see
clean,
text, I'm
clean,
the last
clean video, just
survivor.
clean
Chasing
shots. Just
dreams
a little
while the
boring,
world's a
but
slave.
sound effects as well. You use some transition flares to make it more interesting. But yeah,
From the
clean shots overall.
shadows.
Overall. Just maybe that color you could have been a little creative with more. But yeah, but and I didn't grab focus. Yeah, yeah. Video is clean, very clean. So I mean, I know you're just kind of beginning with video. But I know we've been here for a long time, over an hour, 20 minutes. Thank you guys for being here. Before I let you guys go, any more questions before we end regarding video editing, resources, whatever you guys have? I think this is a great call just to kind of, see where you guys can implement little things when you make these next videos. And the next one I want to go over, next call, I want to go over color grading, kind of starting from beginning, um, and stuff like that. What FPS do you export in? Always export in 24. Yeah, I always want to export. Would you have a YouTube place where I could learn how to color grade? You know what? That's a good question. I never really I can't remember the color grading YouTubers I watched, but I'll look into. I'll try to remember and I'll send them in the Slack. But always export in 24 frames. Yes, I know you guys want to see color grading, especially when it comes to church lighting, which is pretty hard to do. But any more questions before I let you guys go? I appreciate you guys joining. I know we had a good turnout. I know it's been a long time since we had a call. But keep sending in your videos. I want to give you guys advice. If you guys want to send me some videos separately, give you some advice. But you guys have been killing it, honestly. Your videos you guys send, me and Caleb always talk about it. You guys are improving, which is good. Shout out to Juan. I see his videos, his photos, very impressive. Jose, all you guys are just doing great, which, is awesome. So, want to say great job. Keep it up. Let's keep creating for the kingdom. But yeah, let's just pray and then we'll end the call. But thank you guys for joining.
Hey Max, I think they have a
Yeah.
question in the chat.
Oh, let me see. Did I miss it? What question was it? Let me see.
They had frames per second. I'm not sure if you got to it.
Oh yeah, I think I
Oh,
did. Export
oh
in
okay.
24. Yeah, I think I did.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, thank you though. But why don't we go before the Lord and just thank him for this time and just have a good night. I don't know if some of you guys are on the East Coast. I think Jose, right? You're on the East Coast?
Yeah, it's 10:23 over here.
Yeah, he's a trooper, bro. I appreciate you being on so late. But
Yes, sir.
let's pray and let's just go before the Lord. Lord, we thank you. We bless your name for everything that you've done, Lord, today, tonight. You've been too good to us, Lord, for us not to praise you, to worship you, Lord. I thank you for the gift you have given me, Lord, for Caleb, for all my brothers, my sisters that were here on this call. You have given us the gift of creativity for a reason, Lord, so that you've equipped us to use this for the church, Lord, to spread your word, to spread the gospel, to help grow our local churches, Lord. And I pray that you help us to continue to do that, Lord. In times where we may feel burnout, Lord, we may feel tired, you give us the strength, you give us the creativity, the motivation to keep pushing, creating, Lord, for honor and your glory, Lord. We thank you. Let's have a good rest of our night, and let us take this information, this lessons that we learn about video, and let's take it and apply it so we may continue to grow in our videography. Let's have a good rest of our night. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. Alrighty, guys. God bless you. Thank you guys for joining. We'll have another call soon. Hopefully maybe another one this month or beginning of next month. But God bless you guys. Have a good rest of your Monday. See you soon.